Randy, thank you very much. That's great, and those coins are just fabulous as well. Our final speaker is Paul Ranc. Paul is a member of the board of directors of the Ancient Coin Club of Los Angeles and one of the longest standing, but not the oldest of members.
Oldest? Excuse me.
I said not the oldest. I said not the oldest. I was being nice. His presentation is entitled Ancient Coin Design's Influence on Modern U.S. Coinage. And when he's finished, we hope to have a brief question and answer period if you can stick around, and also a chance for you to look at some more coins, talk to people, and as I said earlier, we are going to be giving away some coins as well. Paul?
Yeah. Okay. So this just goes any old place, right?
Where's the clicker rather?
Randy,
what is it?
Is this it here?
Yes.
So what do I do to make them show up?
Hit that there,
Oh, okay.
Go forward and back.
Fantastic. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I have to say this is a really good-looking group. Anyway, no, I'm teasing. Anyway, I started collecting American coins when I was 9 years old. I always had the collecting bug. And like everybody else, I collected American coins. I began, like everybody, with pennies and nickels and worked my way up through dimes and quarters. And I was fortunate enough when I was a kid to be able to at least look at what I consider to be the greatest American coin designs of all time. That is the Mercury dime, the Standing Liberty quarter, and above all, the Walking Liberty half dollar. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those at the end of my talk, but first, let's begin with the most hated coin, at least as far as I'm concerned. That one. As far as I'm concerned, that's the ugliest coin design in the United States history. Why do I say that? Well, that'll come later. You understand, okay? All right. So we're going to go from the ridiculous to the sublime. This is a facing head tetragram of Kimon from Syracuse from 410 BC, considered to be the most beautiful coin design. Okay. In history, yeah. Kimon was the engraver. Yeah, exactly. This is from Syracuse, approximately 410 BC. And to buy this coin, you'd probably have to mortgage, if you have two houses, you'd probably have to mortgage both of them, you understand, to get a hold of this coin. But I wanted to contrast the Washington head with this particular coin to give you some kind of idea of how artistic styles, etc., tastes and everything have changed. But there is to be said, the United States is not Syracuse in 410 BC, okay? All right? And I believe, it's my opinion, I don't really know that much about Greek coins, but because Roman coins, Roman imperial coins, and to a certain extent the Republic, are my specialty. But I believe that at some time on the Isle of Sicily, between 420 and let's say 450 and 400 BC, these engravers, and there was a number of them whose names we still know, were competing with one another. And I think to a certain extent there was a contest going on to see who could come out with the greatest coin designs. And actually the horses is considered to be the obverse. That's actually a chariot. You can't see the charioteer, but that's all right. There's the charioteer and horses, and the facing head of Arethusa. Arethusa is the water nymph of Syracuse. Supposedly there's a stream that goes through Syracuse, or went through ancient Syracuse. Actually, I've been there, but the stream was dried up. And she was the nymph that played around in that particular water, okay? So anyway, I consider this to be one of the greatest coin designs of all time. We haven't come close to it in, 1,000 years, 1,500 years, okay? Yeah. So let's begin with the real subject of my talk. So we have a shield here. We all know in American coins there are shields, right? Okay, yes. This is the shield of Thebes, Boeotia, Thebes. Boeotia or Thebes is a very, unfortunately it doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of a shame because it was a very famous town. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the 7 against Thebes, wasn't that those, and wasn't it the Titans and all sorts of other things, even more famous than Athens in ancient times, you understand, okay? I was in Athens in the early 80s and I took a bus to Delphi, and I don't know if you've been on the bus, it goes through the site of ancient Thebes, and it's quite moving because basically there's nothing there, it's just a village, you understand? And this was one of the greatest cities of the ancient world. So let's get back to design. We see it's a Boeotian shield, okay? So obviously, do I have to explain to you what the shield signifies? I don't think I have to. Protection, and maybe military might, military prowess, I don't know. So let's go to what I consider to be one of the best designs, but everybody else seems to hate it, is the shield nickel. I love the shield nickel. When I was a kid, I always wanted to have shield nickels. And you see, it's a shield, but it's a little bit different than the shield in Boeotia. But nevertheless, this is a bit, I thought about using the 2-cent piece, The designer is the same. The designer is the same. His name is James Longacre, but I preferred the shield on the shield nickel. You understand? Okay, because I just think it's a great design. And you've got your flowers and your whatever. You've got a thing at the top, whatever that might be. And by law, they had to put "In God We Trust" after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. And this is an 1866 version with the rays on the back. And I hope you all like shield nickels. I like the design, always have. Okay. So there's a shield and a shield. Oh, too bad. Anyway, this is a Roman Empire Sestertius of Hadrian, about 121 AD. And unfortunately, we can't see the reverse type. But the reverse type is one of the great superb types of Roman Sestertii, in my opinion. I don't have a copy of this coin. I wish I did. The legend in the back reads Providentia Deorum, which means the divine providence. And look at that wonderful flying eagle delivering a scepter to the Emperor Hadrian. We're going to be talking a lot about flying eagles in this particular talk. But I just found this design it's always blown my mind ever since I've been collecting Roman imperial coins. And it's the only time this was ever used. The only time this was ever used in Roman coinage. It's an extremely interesting reverse type. And Hadrian was not known. I mean, Trajan had many more different reverse types than Hadrian, but Hadrian and especially Antoninus Pius had great reverse designs on some of his coins. But this one just blew me away. It's always blown me away. I just think the eagle is cool. That is the Emperor Hadrian about to receive the scepter, okay, to indicate that he is the anointed king, okay, and from the eagle. And the eagle, in case you don't know, the eagle is representing Zeus. You understand? Whenever we see eagles in ancient Roman coins, it almost always represents Zeus, okay? Anyway. Oh, and this is a very interesting coin. This is a coin of another flying eagle. Unfortunately, these coins do not come in good condition. This is a coin from Caesarea Maritima, which is today Israel, okay? And you see the back, that wonderful eagle, and he's holding a wreath. You see the wreath, okay? And you see SPQR, which means Senatus Populusque Romanus, which is the Senate and people of Rome. You still see it on the sewer drains in Rome today, which is kind of nice. And this is Lucius Verus. Probably, when did Verus die? About 169. This is a Roman colonial coin. But I love the reverse type. Unfortunately, this one is not very good condition, but it was actually the only really semi-good one I could find. So let's talk about some more flying eagles. Hopefully the flying eagles are going to come up. All right, look at that. Okay, look at that. Isn't that almost exactly the same design as the previous coin? This is a $5 gold piece designed by Robert Scott, the first series. Wish I had one. 1795. And you see the eagle holding the wreath, or the rest, and he's got his claws on an olive branch. Wonderful design. Why didn't America keep these designs? They had to go to this fat heraldic eagle. I really think it's very cool. And it's very, very much imitates the Roman style. Okay? So we're going to have some more eagles, I think. Yep, there's the Goldbrich pattern flying eagle. Unfortunately, the reverse is not on there, but you all know this coin. You understand? Unfortunately, this was not okayed. This was not okayed for U.S. coinage. I could tell you stories. I've been reading my friend Walter Breen. He goes into detail about why these designs were not accepted. Mostly it was politics. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I consider this to be the most beautiful flying eagle in American coinage. Do you understand? Yeah, especially with the stars around. It's just really, really a nice coin. Yeah, and another flying eagle. No, we're going to go to Libertas now. Okay, as far as I was able to discern, this is the first depiction of Libertas in Roman coinage. Okay, and this is a coin from 58 BC. It's El Pharsalis, Roman Republic. Actually, the reverse is quite nice too, but it has nothing to do with Libertas. That's supposedly the head of liberty. The little cap, or the little cap, may or may not be a pilus. I'm going to talk more about piluses later. The pilus is the cap that they gave the slaves when they freed them to indicate that they were free and independent. Not sure. I don't really think anybody is sure. I did some research on it, but I couldn't find anything. Anyway, I like the depiction of Libertas here. She looks very, very neat. Okay, but she changes a lot in Rome. Okay, and this is a very famous coin. All right, this is a Brutus coin from 54 BC, way before he killed Julius Caesar. And you see, the Libertas is changing a little bit now. The earring is still the same. You don't have the shoulders anymore. She's changing a little bit now, but not too much. And on the back is Brutus, the 500, the guy who drove the Tarquins out in 510 BC. Okay, he's got his lictors with him. And notice there's a flying. Is that an eagle on the staff? No, that's actually a fasces. I'm going to talk more about fasces later, if I get around to it. Okay, now we go into the real Libertas. This is what everybody understands when they talk about Libertas on coinage in the Roman Empire. Randy showed you a coin of Claudius. This is a beautiful coin of Claudius. Unfortunately, it doesn't come up very well on the image. But you see, that's the classic depiction of Libertas. And in her right hand, she's got the cap, the pilus, which indicates that this person is free. In her right, I think she has, in her left, I believe she has a staff. But this is a classical depiction of Libertas and what the Romans would understand if you told them Libertas on coinage. Again, a beautiful denarius of Nerva. You see the same design, basically. She's holding the cap, and she's got the staff in the other hand. Another nice depiction. This is a silver coin. The details come out much better when you photograph it. Nerva was emperor from 96 to 98 AD. He adopted Trajan. He was emperor after Domitian. And here we go. All right, let's do some American coins. Okay, this is the famous Mercury head dime. And those of you who have studied American coins know Mercury head is a misnomer. This is the head of liberty. Do you understand? All right, it's one of the most beautiful coin designs of all time. You see she's got a winged cap on, and that's supposed to indicate the pilus, or pilus, the cap that we saw that indicated liberty. She's supposed to be wearing a pilus or a pilus to indicate liberty. And the back is wonderful. I used to stare at this coin when I was a kid because I didn't understand the symbolism. There are Roman fasces. Fasces were carried by lictors. Lictors went around with first the consuls and after them the emperors. And lictors, if the emperor would say, take that man, then the lictors would take him and throw him in jail or wait trial or whatever it is that they did. And the fasces are really interesting. Unfortunately, Mussolini has given them sort of a bad rap, but c'est la vie. What it was rods that were bound up in a circle. You see them there with an axe head sticking out, and that indicated the power. That indicated the power of the reigning monarch or the reigning consul. And we have our olive thing, our olive branch, but it's the symbolism on these coins is just fabulous. I want you to let your mind wander. What were they trying to talk about? This coin came out in 1916, was a revolutionary design and a revolutionary year for coin designs. I assume, I'll talk more about this later, but you sort of have to keep what was going on in Europe in World War I in the back of your mind when you think about these coins. Because if you don't, they really don't make a whole lot of sense. Okay? Anyway, let's move on. I'm almost finished, actually. Well, not really, but getting close. Another great coin design that came out in 1916. This is the Standing Liberty Quarter. This is not such a great example because it's got a flat head. This coin is great because it has two great designs. It has a flying eagle on the back, and it has the wonderful Liberty strutting, and it's very interesting. What is she doing? She's holding a shield. She's carrying an olive branch as a sign of peace. She's walking through like a gateway, which is interesting. In other words, is she protecting something? It's possible, you understand? Or is this the end of American isolationism? Who knows? But it's really, really interesting to look at these designs and think, what were these guys doing? She's got a chainmail thing on the top of her body. You understand? She's got a shield, olive branch, and she's walking through what looks like to be a building or something, a temple. And it's just a really, really interesting coin design, okay, in my opinion. And here we go. Here's the big casino right here, the Walking Liberty $50. Okay, very complicated coin design. My opinion, I haven't handled a lot of St. Gaudens $20 gold pieces, so I can't really say how beautiful they are, but I love this coin design. Why? Well, look at it. There's Walking Liberty. She's got her Liberty cap on as well. That's the pilus again, the same as with the dime. Is she carrying some olive branches? It looks that way. She's got her arm out, maybe, and look where she's extending it to. The rising sun. Well, the rising sun was probably Europe. That's what they were probably indicating. You understand, yeah? And there's some waves there too. So maybe she's walking and she's got, you can't see it, but she's got the American flag sort of draped around her halfway. You can see the stars if you look up by her nose. Okay, wonderful design, sandals and the whole 9 yards. The eagle on the back is spectacular too, in my opinion, eagle in repose. All right, a little bit like the eagle, if you know the ancient coins of Agrigento, which I don't have a picture of here, very similar to that. He's on what I think they call a crag, whatever that means, on a mountain somewhere, and he's got his claws in something. Is that a rabbit? I guess it is, yeah. But it's just a wonderful, wonderful coin design. And in my opinion, maybe the greatest American coin design. Don't forget, all of these things were developed in 1916, and I think most of it in this room, if we were fortunate enough, when I was a kid, these coins were still in circulation. If you had 50 cents, you could actually get one. Of course, nobody had 50 cents in those days, so it was impossible. No, I'm serious. I remember I used to get one of these and I'd keep it in my pocket for the longest time, but I couldn't because 50 cents was a lot of money. People don't realize you could buy lunch for 50 cents, you could buy 5 comic books, you could buy 5 ice cream cones, and it was just impossible to keep a quarter, so, dime, most definitely. But 50 cents was impossible, and I always swore that when I got older and I got enough money, I was going to collect half dollars. And you know what? I did, but I didn't collect these half dollars. I collected bus half dollars, which are even more interesting, the ones from 1807 to 1838, you understand, yeah? But I have one of these, I have a couple of these. I consider that to be symbolically, and we have to go by symbolism here. Symbolically, I consider that the greatest coin design, greatest American coin design. And what happened? What did we get after this? We got Franklin. I won't even put that abomination up there, the Franklin half dollar. It's a horrible coin, you understand, huh? And don't even get me started with the Roosevelt dime. That has to be the ugliest coin. That and the Washington quarter has to be the ugliest design of all time. Anyway, I want you to keep in mind what I said about the Washington quarter, but as the Washington quarter was circulating, so were these. So we had some relief as far as art is concerned. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my talk. Yeah. Thank you. See, it was brief and